raising the voices of those that are going to be impacted by it. And then also, my favorite, we were also able to do some research and pull some receipts and hold some of these officials that were putting this bad bill, trying to push this bad bill, we were able to put them on blast. So we're so to where we got a phone call from one and say, yo, hold on, can y'all hold up? I'm really not for this, and we trying to figure out what we want to do. Well, I'm like, it's out here now. So, so to just, more concisely put, um, we are no longer in a place in this fight for freedom and democracy, but we're organizing and policy and comms can operate siloed. And so Alabama Values, our role is to pull these differentiated approaches together in a collective manner, right? And then also, again, make these strategies tangible for the public. So we're that mouthpiece. We're the mouthpiece for the movement. When I'm in certain spaces, I tell people we're the creative agency for the movement. And when I'm in the State House wearing my Alabama Values Progress C4 hat, I'm like, we the lobbyists for the movement, right? So that's our role in civic engagement. We make sure that the people that are impacted by these issues, we make sure that we speak truth to power, make sure they can touch and get involved, and that it's digestible, it's not over their head, and then those that are moving, that are putting forth these bad policies and bills, we make sure that they're held accountable and they can't do it behind closed walls.
Dr. Deave, you have an amazing story. So tell us a little bit more about your journey being a congressional candidate a few years ago and funding a grassroots organization that combines civic engagement messaging with hip hop to mobilize our young people.
Yes, so I ran for Congress the first time in 2018, completely green, completely new, and was met with a primary opponent, and I was not the Democratic favorite, so you know what that meant. You know what I'm saying? And so initially, my team said that I needed to put my hip-hop self, my true self, on the back burner and become Dr. Winfrey. Don't let hip-hop out the bag, don't let them know. You just be Dr. Winfrey and toe the line. And I tried. But what I quickly saw is that I'm still a young black woman, single mom of 4, and people have the stereotypes they're gonna have, and they're not gonna like me one way or the other. So let me just be me and use this space and take up space and push the culture. So I brought on a campaign DJ, and we centered hip hop culture in my platform, as well as, in the words of Anisha, how we brought the message to the people. And so even though I didn't win that primary race in 2018, I garnered 11,000 votes. I was able to understand politics in a different way, and I saw a rap for hip hop culture. So in 2020, I had no thoughts of wanting to run, but people were coming to me. A lot of the people that were against me in 2018 came back, spun the block, and was like, okay, mistakes were made, will you run in 2020? And as much as I didn't want to do it, in the end, through prayer and meditation, I put my name in November of 2019. Thank goodness I did, because who could have foresaw the chaos that the world would be falling into in March, and then again at the end of May, and just throughout the summer. And so what me and my campaign did, because we were aware from 2018 that really our issue in Alabama is the fact that we have so many registered voters that do not go out and vote. And this is really key in the 3rd Congressional District where I run at. And so I said, the thing about it, it doesn't matter how good my platform is, it doesn't matter how bad the incumbent is, if people don't understand the power of their vote, what voting really means. So let's use this opportunity while we're in the midst of a pandemic, while we're in the midst of social unrest, to show people in real time what that vote looked like. What does it do?
All right, so Phil, you've been working with Alabama Forward on projects for their Shape the Field initiative for a couple of years now, including producing the Caregiver Road Trip album and coordinating this evening's festival concert. Tell us more about how you got involved and how the experience has influenced how you see the role of creatives in civic engagement in the voting rights movement.
Well, I started out, I've known the creative director of Alabama Forward, well, not the creative director, the executive director of Alabama Forward, I've known him for like 15 years, and yeah, Evan Milligan, one of the plaintiffs for the HB 209 case, and we got together a couple of years ago and decided that we wanted to do something different. As far, I mean, we've always respected each other's talent, but he's never really wanted to do any type of music. So I was like, man, come on, let's do something. So we basically got together and was like, he was like, man, but if we do something, it's gotta mean something, man. We can't just be rapping. So I was like, all right. So we got together, you know, started writing some things, making some beats, you know, strictly directed around civic work, around people who do civic work and the care that they would need, you know, the self-care that they need to give themselves, you know, reaching out to the people, you know, about, you know, reaching out to the younger folks, and wanted to see, you know, what's important to them. So we put together that album, Caregiver Road Trip, and since then, you know, we've gotten attention from like PBS NewsHour. It's kind of been a snowball effect. You know, we've been, you know, all over the state of Alabama. We were doing events last year called the Trap Democracies, and we were going to, you know, different counties, and we were doing a lot of work, you know, during that time. And it's been quite a ride, you know, especially putting together, and it's all come to a head to come bring you guys this show.
I wanted to point out, you know, I often talk about when I say, you know, if you look at just across the South, you know, as goes the South, so goes the nation. We've all heard that, right? And we've seen what the South has looked like liberated, i.e. civil rights movement, and how it impacted the nation. We've also seen what the South looks like oppressed. Oftentimes in rooms, and I hear people talk about my state, whether it's like Alabama, Tennessee, they're like, oh, you know, it's a red state, they have a supermajority, it's a lost cause. And I say, hold up, you know, I want to start to shift that narrative because Alabama isn't a red state, Alabama is an oppressed state. You know, we're dealing with oppression in just about every corner, everywhere you look. I mean, the past census data has showed that, you know, across the South, including Alabama, we're becoming more diverse in terms of political, social, and cultural ideology, more diverse in ethnic groups, and that is threatening to, you know, to this minority-majority rule that we are currently under. That's threatening to the white supremacist ideology that this country was built on. And I'm gonna close with this, you know, they say the phrase, art, you know, imitates life, but then there is a school of thought that talks about, no, it's life that imitates art. And so, but I see it as this perpetual cycle, and so I don't think we can have a movement without our art, without artists. I think activism plays a critical role in the current fight that we're in.
Yeah, when it comes to the power of art and the role of art in the current civic engagement space we find ourselves, it works in the messaging, but I'm also about people expressing what they want to express. And I believe that people can rap about whatever they want to rap about or make music about whatever they want to make music about, but also recognize their power and their platform they have outside of the loop. Because the music they create is a moment in time, but those interviews, the outreach they do in their community, how they use their social media platforms and give them voice. So I think that a lot of times we limit, when we talk about artists and how movements shift, we just limit it to the art they create, but recognizing the platforms that they have. And so that's one of the tools that we use with Transform Alabama. We don't just focus on so-called conscious artists. We recognize all artists are conscious in some way. Those that aren't, that's our job to politicize them and bring them to the table.
So I just think that we need to definitely make sure that everyone gets together and on the same page. And one of the issues that we face is is incorrect messaging. You know, like one person has one story, another person has another, and then we don't get it congruent. I hope I'm using the right word there. But
Misinformation.
no misinformation, needs to go out. So we all need to get on the same page. Information is power, but correct information is power. And that's what we really have to remember. If you have the correct information and you have a base of people that you trust that can validate that information, you cannot, be fooled by outsiders outside of your village trying to tell you the incorrect thing to put you on the wrong path, because that's kind of the war. Like, there's this podcast called InfoWars where they just do nothing but give incorrect information all the time on there. So we have to solidify ourselves with correct information. We have to have our own InfoWars in the correct manner, because they're doing their part to misinform and to mislead and to misconstrue everyone. But we have to do our part, and that's part of what this is. That's what this is. That's what the Caregiver Road Trip album is about. That's what Dr. Adia is doing. That's what Miss Anisha's doing with Alabama Values. So we're making sure everybody has correct information.
Gotcha.